Here.
Happy Wednesday. We back. How y'all feeling? How you doing?
What's the deal?
How you doing, my brother?
I'm good, man. How you feeling?
You checking in from the motherland. Mandy hit me again last night. Like, oh, bro, it's been a time. You should be here. I'm like, I know. I got big FOMO. Big FOMO. So,
yeah, they left. Shout out to Mandy.
Yeah.
And Yomi and the whole team. So yeah, no, we moving around. We actually in Kenya right now.
Okay.
So had to cross. We had a crazy travel schedule. It's been nuts. But no rest.
How you managing through it?
And that's why I'm so excited about it. Get your tickets. It's gonna be one for the books. I'll tell you that much. It's gonna be one for the books. I think this is gonna be the most impactful one yet.
I think so too. Yeah, it's a critical time. It is a critical time. Even the Stock Club, me going back to doing presentations is to help prepare for what's to come. And like you said, at NVIDIA, we was given a short window for how quickly things are going to change and turn. So, I think this is probably the most important one that there's been.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's get right to it. Man, so much to talk about. Man,
a lot going on.
You want to start off with this Megan Thee Stallion thing?
I think more important, the CFO of OpenAI, Sarah Friar, has told that they may not be able to pay their compute contracts if revenue does not grow fast enough. Let's start there. I think that's really interesting for a number of reasons. It can affect SoftBank, Oracle, CoreWeave, NVIDIA, AMD, Broadcom. It could be a pin that starts to pop some of the AI bubble. What are your thoughts on the endless spin of AI? And could this be the start of the collapse for the mid-tier companies while he's on trial with Elon?
I think that it's definitely something that's it's interesting to watch. Like you said, especially the time, if anybody's not familiar, that's the biggest tech lawsuit ever. Elon Musk is in court with Sam Altman and OpenAI right now, currently. So the timing, and they announced, we didn't get a chance to talk about this on Market Monday, they announced that pretty much they're going to go their separate ways in some regards when it comes to Microsoft.
Yep.
So they have a lot going on. OpenAI has a lot going on right now. So this news, I think, is definitely not beneficial for OpenAI, but depending on how it plays out, it could definitely send ripple effects throughout the industry. OpenAI is still one of the leaders in the space, almost $1 trillion valuation before it even goes public. I think it's currently valued at like $800 million, something like that. I mean, $800 billion.
Yeah.
So I think that it says a lot about the time that we're in, where what goes up must come down on a certain level. You got to come back to reality. You can't just spend money aimlessly without, making tremendous revenue. You got to, be frugal. We just saw Meta saying that they're going to lay off thousands of workers. So I think that it definitely speaks to the current climate, but what's to come as well, as far as companies tightening up and the just do whatever you want and just keep riding on valuations. That can't last forever.
And you can't spend endlessly either. For you to have a machine that powerful and you can't figure out how to drum up revenue, that in itself is telling. And it made a lot of room for Anthropic. I think Anthropic has done a great job. Once again, this is like the Microsoft versus Apple battle of the 1980s all over again. Sam, get your affairs in order. Like, they had an entire book and then the New York Times expose on him. Not good. And it goes to show why you have to take care of your relationships and keep your promises in business, because just as you're about to have your best moment ever, everyone's attacking you to pull you down. They call him a sociopath.
Who?
Sam Altman.
Sam Altman?
That's not good, bro. Even if it's not true, just to have it floating out there is not good.
Have it on your name.
It's not good.
Have it on your jacket as a crystal ball holder. Like if you could look out 5-10 years from now, because they've been, they started with all of the buzz, all of the fanfare, everybody was in love with ChatGPT. Then, the competitors came, then the hate came. Now everybody's saying ChatGPT is terrible, it's the worst. And now everybody's saying Sam Altman's a bad person. He's getting sued from Elon and Microsoft is leaving. It seems like, it's kind of unraveling. So what do you think the future of the company is?
He's going to have to step down. And
Sam Altman?
He's going to have to go to the chairman role. Because even if you look at it like this, this is why you have to calculate the cost of war before you go into it. Most of his competition came from those who used to work with him. They just got tired of his bullshit. All the 1930 tyrannical leader thing, that does not work anymore. So if you have people who know some of your intel, no pun intended, go make offshoots of what you created because you were a terrible leader, it's not good. So at some point, he is a liability to the brand itself. And I would see maybe in 4 or 5 years, you have to find a new CEO. Because if you think about it, without him being as quote unquote evil, allegedly, there wouldn't have been room or determination for Anthropic and all these other competitors to even come in. And going back to the Y Combinator days, like Jason Calacanis was one of the first investors in Tesla, friends with Elon, and one of the first investors in OpenAI. He publicly said on his show, I would upload no personal data from my company into something he invested in. That's telling. You gotta get out the seat, bro. That's like if Dennis Rodman coached the Bulls. At some point, you gotta find another person to lead the ship if you want to salvage the value of the company. A bad person can drive a great asset into the ground.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That is a fact. That's a fact. Well, we'll monitor the situation. What do you guys think? Put it in chat. Okay.
There's a lot going on, Rashad.
Okay. Okay. Let's talk about the Vlad TV thing, shall we?
Okay.
So there's a lot of talk about that. You know, if you're not familiar, Vlad TV, he's been in the mix lately because Boosie, who was his number one, I guess, correspondent, if that's what you want to call him, came out that he was actually paying him $20,000 per episode.
25, yeah.
25,000 or was it 20?
I think it's 20, but I can be wrong.
I think it was 20, but he wanted to go up.
Okay.
Boosie wanted $30,000. Vlad said, I'll give you 25,000.
Okay, gotcha.
And Boosie said, like, yo, you being cheap. And long story short, he left. Now he's doing his own thing. And then Ari Spears left. He was another one. So he has these ongoing like correspondents. Ari Spears, Tony
Godfrey
Ayo,
back in the day, yeah.
Yeah, Godfrey back, Lord Jamal back in the day. And, you know, in between like guests, he has like these guys who just come on every other week and just talk about stuff. So now the debate, and then Academics stepped in. Academics was pretty much saying that, you know, Vlad was right in his assessment as far as like, you know, the amount of money that he was paying and wasn't. So, okay. Me personally, my business model, I've always thought that it's a bad idea to pay for talent to come on your show.
I'll be the first one to admit it. Listen, can I tell a story? One day we was in New Jersey doing Market Mondays. I'm like, yo, we can get 50. Let me pay. He like, we're not paying for no talent. I'm like, why? To take the show. Once you start, you're going to have to pay for everybody and you're going to get extorted. I thought you was crazy. I was like, no, we can. He's like, it's not even worth whatever boost we're going to get. A few years later, shout out to Terrence, organic relationship, 50 ends up at InvestFest. So take the long road, don't take the shortcut, but you're right. Like once you start and you see what the margins are and the returns are per view on YouTube, which is actually probably one of the better paying platforms, X, man, you can do 1 million views on X, and I've seen some people post up checks of $600. So you were right in your assessment to not pay exorbitant prices for talent.
No, that's a fact. I appreciate it. But then also it's one of these things of like, yeah, I just feel like once you start, you're never going to stop. And you open up the door and you want people to watch this show because of you. Right? That's the best case scenario. Or the value that you bring, the guests that you bring on. You don't want it to be, because then it's no longer your show. It's Little Boosie show. Or it's Tony Ayo show, right? And then once they create their own show, now you got to find a new person to fill that void. So it's like Market Mondays. Like we have great guests. We just had Subject Nash on, shout out to him. But people watch the show because if there was no guest, they would watch the show. They're not watching the show because of the guest. So, okay, that's one thing. Two, you got to really think about profit margins if you are spending $20,000 for one episode. Because, I mean, he did bring up a good point, Vlad. He was like, look, I got to fly to Atlanta or set up a film crew for somebody to come to Atlanta, spend money. I got to pay Boosie, spend money. I got to edit it, spend money. I got to chop up clips, spend money with no guarantee of return on investment. You put it out, it might go viral.
It could get demonetized.
Yeah, that's what he said too.
Or some of the hot takes that Boosie may have, you can't even put them in the show.
Right. Or the subject matter is just a low CPM because he's talking about, very,
Low
topics topics that advertisers don't want to be associated with.
Yeah.
So it's like a video might look, oh yeah, it's got 1 million views, it's got 2 million views. But after you already paid $20,000 for the talent, and then probably another 7 talent on top of that for editing and travel and all of that, you might be up to 30,000 already. So now you might not have any profit margin at that point in time. You might be losing. You might actually be losing money on a video that goes 1 million, 2 million, even 3 million views. So you got to think of the business models, right? So now it's like, well, let's start a stock club.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start a stock club.
Yep, been there.
2.0.
Mm-hmm.
So now you try to find alternative ways to make revenue because it's looking a little thinner.
It's shaky on the CPM. I'm gonna be real. I've been telling y'all for 4 or 5 years, talking about negativity won't pay you. I don't care how viral that you see some of those clips go. I know a lot of them in person, and the conversations I'll never say privately, they're doing worse than most people who work in corporate. There's no money in it. If you do it's people like, well, Maury Povich had a show. Maury did all right for that time being. Maury never hit the Forbes. You don't know costs associated with things like, and also too, if you bring a certain audience, it's hard to even sell those assets because most networks can't find a way to migrate them into their current ecosystem. Like, talk about things that have merit. It may not make you the most popular. And this is the other point I want to make. Some of you would rather have fame than fortune. Even for Aries, I feel bad for the brother because he was negotiating for a little bit more. But now Vlad's been like, well, no, I don't even want you now. And Vlad is not wrong. That's the crazy part. In the assessment of what the profit margin is, when he broke down what he's paying, he's not wrong. You have to find ways to make sure that the business model works without the clicks. That's why some of you be like, well, I don't like the way you and Rashad give it up and give takes. I don't like the way you live. Them 2-back irons on the stove never work when I see you do them Instagram lives. So I don't give it up. And the crazy part is y'all took Joe model and thought that hot takes alone was going to make it. A lot of hot takes got people hurt too. Hot takes led to a shootout in New York and people went to jail. Got to be careful. So for all you won't give it up. When the child support comes, you don't give it up because of them hot takes. My brother, back to you, Rashad.
That's a fact. That's a fact. But yeah.
Them 2-back irons ain't worked since in living color.
Be careful with your business model. Don't always work out.
Have to be. You have to figure that out first.
Facts. Factual information here, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so let's talk about this. Can we let's shake it up a little bit. So this Megan Thee Stallion, right? Megan Thee Stallion, so she goes viral for talking about her relationship with Klay Thompson. She ended her relationship, right? Everybody already knows that. We don't need to go into the whole thing. But this brings up a variety of different things. And I've always said consistently, this is why you should not talk about your relationship publicly. Right? Because it's going to lead to unnecessary conversations. She could have easily just ended the relationship like a regular human being and went about her way. Why is it necessary to say, look, you was cheating on me, I was parading around your swings. You got mood swings, NBA, like, yo, it's looking, I don't know, man. It's not looking good.
Hurt, but I hate when they do that. On the exit, now you want to do the black back.
The first thing you do is run the Instagram. No, when you hurt, that's the first thing you do. Like, come on, we're not teenagers no more. Like, I feel like
some of them are though, mentally. And I'm not, like, real quick, just because you meet the family don't mean we were something. There's a few things we got to get into. That's one of them. Just because you casually run into a cousin or you at the house and then my mom happened to pop up, don't mean that we was on the path to marriage. Things happen.
And sometimes in life, you got to self-examine yourself. If this is a pattern that keeps happening, either A, maybe you're not doing something correct, or maybe B, the energy that you're attracting is not always somebody else's fault. Sometimes you got to take responsibility. I had to learn this lesson.
Me too.
if I keep attracting the same type
certain
of
type of woman
over and over and over again, it's me. I'm the problem. Because there's a reason why I'm fostering that type of energy, right? That means that I psychologically I want that on a certain level, right? Like I mean I'm fully into this toxic light, and then you're trying to pass it off and blame it to other people. No, this is a pattern. You become an enabler for yourself, and you trying to pass the buck to other people. That's what I just didn't like about it, because it's like everything that she said, nothing that she said, of course she did nothing wrong at all, right? Everything she said was like, you've been cheating, you said you can't be monogamous, you brought me around your family, you had mood swings. Where's the self-accountability?
Especially when you left my homie party in shambles when y'all broke up. There was no.
Exactly.
You left my homeboy party in utter tears and shot the party in shambles on the exit. Then I shot the H-Town, instead of H-Town business. The way you did Carl was wrong. What?
Nah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's too much.
And if you know anything about Clay, elite sniper.
Oh, they've been pulling up his resume.
If you ever seen Clay in Oakland or Chicago or Atlanta.
And the boy's on the tail end of his career. Of course, he's going to be stressed out. He got the last year of his deal. He's been playing bad for the last 3 seasons. He probably going to get the league minimum if he's even in the NBA anymore. His career is coming to an end. It's not like he's just having just the regular season. His career, he's on a fork of a road of a life journey. When you play basketball your whole entire life and you realize that this one thing is over, you're going to have some emotional, duress. So, and then the thing about the monogamy, when she was like, now you want to tell me that you can't be monogamous? Well, at least he told her.
And who's to say he didn't tell her from jump? Like, I'm going to be real. A lot of time when we come in the gate telling y'all, yo, we need more than one, you just don't want to hear it. No, I can be your sun, moon, and star. I'm telling you, I need Saturn.
It's crazy.
Then it's like, no, why do you have trauma that you need to heal? No, I need Venus and you. Sorry.
Respectfully
for the time that I'm in. So, no. Then it'd be why you liking this? Like, if you know Clay, man, Clay probably top 10 snipers all time for this era. You knew what you was getting into. Going back to the responsibility.
And this goes why you shouldn't be running out public, which there's so many valuable lessons here. That's what I'm saying. I'm not a fan. The first thing you're doing, you making songs, my man. You go in public, you go on vacation, you throwing them on Instagram. Y'all haven't been together for a year, I don't think. Like, and then behind it, that's why I said watch who your core relationship goes. Like, there's so many valuable lessons here. This is why I don't believe that you should go public with your relationship, especially if you're not married.
Okay, you mean ever?
Especially if you're not married.
You should only go public in your relationship if you're married.
Or if it's to that level. If it's at that level.
Gotcha.
Right? My personal opinion. Protect yourself at all times. And protect the other person as well. This is why you don't go public after a breakup, because now you make everybody just look crazy. None of this, they could have just easily went their separate way. You did this because you wanted to embarrass him. That's the only reason why you wanted to do it.
And that don't work either. As soon as you get to doing that he not good post, all your little enemies going right over there with him. Right in Cabo. Yeah. Get on the boat. The second half of this is the narrative that nobody knew who Klay Thompson was, and they using her for clout. The same thing with Stephon Diggs. This has been a narrative that's been being pushed by some influencers online there. Nobody knew who these guys was in the greater world. Their counterpart, Megan and Cardi, was more famous. They used them to attach themselves to a bigger brand to expand their name. Now, Stephon Diggs thing, that might have some validity. Yes. I'm gonna be real. I can see it.
Yeah, the Stephon Diggs thing. I'm not
that
even
one. That one lands.
That looks like that checks the box.
Yeah,
it does.
Yeah. I
don't think Klay Thompson fits in that same category. Because I just don't think that Klay Thompson, he doesn't strike me as that type of person that's just like thirsty to get lit, to socialite. Like he was been under the radar, flying low his whole entire career. I don't think you wait to career year 15 to just want to become the biggest celebrity in the world. I I don't think that that's the motivator factor here. And now, to be fair about this, because we're basketball fans, so of course we know who Klay Thompson is. He's one of the greatest shooters of all time. He won 4 championships. He's part of one of the greatest dynasties ever. But to the average person that's not a tremendous basketball fan, I can see that. They might not know who Klay Thompson is, or they might not be as familiar. They might have just heard his name. He might not. I don't think he's a household name. Megan Thee Stallion is probably more famous than Klay Thompson.
Fame without wealth means nothing, though.
No, 100%.
Yeah, like if we go on the UTA right now and we pull up Q score, I'm sure that Q score is higher. Also, the point I will say that I agree with, ladies, you have to be careful to know if a guy is using you to get to the woman he really wants. Now, we could have just been vibing. Once you go public, now you add something to my arsenal. Well, others who may not have looked at me in a certain light, and they see I got you in a little frenzy, all in your feels. Great marketing material.
No, it is. It is.
Great marketing material. So he don't come off as a clout chasing demon. And I can probably argue he may not even wanted that to be known. That one, I told Ty, as soon as I saw the video, there was at the gala, she was turned and he was looking like, just the last one? I say it's over with. It's over with. Boy was checked out already.
And let this also be a lesson of WAP. Both of the people that was on that song who proudly proclaim that they ain't cooked, they ain't clean. Both of them are single currently. And I like Cardi. Shout out to Cardi.
That's Cardi.
But it is what it is. I think that's something that we got to at least, mention that did not
go well.
It didn't save the day.
Especially if you're dealing with killers. Mitchell.
If that's all you got to offer, not to say that that's all you have to offer. But I'm just saying, if that's your main value add of this is what I'm providing, it's not going to last long. I promise you, it's not going to last long. If that's what you can say, okay, this is my offering.
Mm-hmm.
No.
And a single offering at that. But fellas, stop lying too. If you are coming in on Playboy shit, state from the very beginning how you gonna operate. You can't change halfway through, even if she get on your nerves. Come in stating, hey, this is what I'm about. This is what I want. Yeah, they're gonna be mad anyway, but at least go out being honorable and being upfront in what you want to do and how you gonna move. They're gonna be mad, but at least you can say, hey, I told you from the very beginning this is what it was. And you got to read the room to know when you the summer fling or not. This is for men and women. You have to stop expecting lifetime outcomes with people who only are meant to be there for a season. How does a person know if they are in a situation, if it's a vibe or it can lead to something permanent?
How do they know?
Because most people can't read the room.
Man, it's that's a good question. I think you got to go off your intuition. Your intuition is God talking to you. You know if somebody fucks with you on that level or not.
If they be denying it, bro.
It's in the eyes. It's in the eyes. It's the way the person look at you. It's the acts of service. It's the things, it's the little things that they do when you don't ask for nothing. It's you leave the house and not only do they make up your bed, they done cleaned the whole entire
house with folded clothes
and folded the clothes and cleaned your fridge. The little things in life that's like, oh no, this is not a transactional relationship. This is not something that's just like, it's the little things that go a long way.
And asking cannot be of help. It's not helping. Helping is helping. No. I hate that.
Exactly.
If you need anything, let me know. Or is there anything I could do to be better? Yeah, you don't do none of it.
We all adults. I feel like it's the same thing in business, right? Like, you know what you got to do. And just do it. Like there's certain times in life where you have to lead by example, and I shouldn't have to tell you this. This is like I said, this is relatable to business as well. If we're in business, right, whether we're business partners, associates, employee relationship, whatever, right, at a certain point, set expectations are met, and it's like I shouldn't have to tell you certain things. You should want to do those certain things because you want to push the company forward. And as a result of pushing the company forward, that's going to be beneficial to you. If you're doing bare minimum shit, you're going to get bare minimum back. And that's one of the greatest things Nas ever said. Don't expect more when you put in less work than all of. It be the people that literally do just the bare minimum that want the highest level of rewards.
That'd be my favorite thing to do. I need a loan. Let me, thank you, Instagram. Let me just see how many times you've reshared a post. Have you reshared anything for Red Panda? Are you in the likes? Now you can break it down. Comment, follows, verify. Ooh, I don't see nothing. So what do I help you for? But you know I love you. Let the world know. Reshare. Send some topics in. Send some people to Stock Club. If not, for what? I'd rather just get a cash out to the people who watch Market Mondays, a blackout. Help without having to be told to help.
Can we talk about this? Richard Nixon and
Reagan.
Ronald Reagan.
Yeah,
please. All right, let's show this clip.
Surprising audio recordings have surfaced of a phone conversation nearly a half century ago between President Richard Nixon and future President Ronald Reagan. The recordings were released by the National Archives, and they capture the two men using racist language. Here's White House correspondent Paula Reed.
President Richard Nixon recorded himself talking to then California Governor Ronald Reagan in October 1971, the day after the United Nations voted to recognize the People's Republic of China. Reagan had phoned Nixon at the White House to vent his frustration at African delegates who celebrated the vote.
Last night, I tell you, to watch that thing on television as I did. Yeah. To see those monkeys from those African countries, damn them, they're still uncomfortable wearing shoes.
The Ronald Reagan Presidential Foundation said today, if he said that 50 years ago, he shouldn't have, and he would be the first person to apologize. After talking with Reagan, Nixon called Secretary of State William Rogers and adopted Reagan's racist language.
Well, these cannibals on television last night, Nixon should already wearing shoes, and he could hear the United States is going to admit it.
Later that month, Nixon laughed at these comments from his best friend, Bibi Rebozo.
You know, that reaction on television it proves how they ought to be still hanging from the trees by the tail.
Okay. Not entirely surprising.
Not surprising.
But very disturbing, for sure.
If all of them feel that way?
Well, this goes back to what I always said. I think every president you can classify as probably racist, except for two.
Barry and who?
Barack Obama and he just died.
The second time Barack
from Georgia. Jimmy Carter.
What part of Georgia Jimmy Carter from? Maybe not when he was in office.
Jimmy Carter was on the right. No. Jimmy Carter was on the right side. No. We can't do that. Jimmy Carter was on. No. Jimmy Carter was a stand-up. Jimmy Carter was a stand-up guy when it came to those type of situations.
Jimmy Carter was born in 1924 in Plains, Georgia. You don't think he used it one time?
Look at his track record.
Now, when he got older, but it's like Jerry Jones. He probably did a car when it was beneficial.
No. Jimmy Carter. No, I'm telling you, man, you got Jimmy Carter.
Well, solid.
He was solid. He was solid. I'm just saying, growing up in rural Georgia, you don't think after the Great Depression, he let it fly one time? One time by Medgar Evers in the 60s? It's just possible. Maybe once. Now, is he lower on the totem pole of usage? Probably. Yeah. Rest in peace. But everybody else, I think they definitely checked the other box heavily. And it's crazy because, we're in Africa right now. So that level of thinking is how they still think about the continent to this day still.
And pillaging it.
And for you people out there that's going to be like, well, that's they talking about Africans, they ain't talking about us. You don't think that they think about you the same way?
Same bucket.
Because Ronald Reagan was the person, when you talk about the Iran-Contra scandal, right? And the Nicaragua with Freeway Ricky Ross, and do the knowledge. That's all I'll say on that. Do the knowledge on that, right? Ronald Reagan got the answer. What Kanye say? Who cooked up and killed the Ronald Reagan cooked up the answer.
When you get to,
it's a fact, though. Allegedly.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
So don't think that. And then, okay, so Ronald Reagan thought like that. Nixon worked for Ronald Reagan. Who else worked for Ronald Reagan? George Bush.
You're going down the dark link now.
Who was the father of the other? George Bush. I mean, like I said, it's the fruit don't fall too far from the tree. For them to speak this comfortable.